Hey, it's Suze, and welcome to tonight's episode of Keep the Bad Guys Away. Hey, nice to see you. Hey, I came home from work tonight. Boy, I gotta tell you, it was kind of an easy day at work. Thank God, the hospital wasn't busy. But I came home, and the first thing that I did was I checked on my books. Now, if you remember, last night I was worried that someone was going to steal my brand new books. Well, I had secretly placed them in a drawer, and I had it all set up so I could tell if somebody came into my room and was looking for stuff. And you know what? I came back tonight and I looked in that door. It was moved. So somebody was in my room today looking at my books, but at least that they were all there. So, the interesting part, and I got to finish reading this book. This is a book, Hunting for Terrorists. Boy, I'm surprised this one's still here. It's written by a guy named Joe Navarro. Apparently, he was an FBI agent. He claims to be some expert in terrorism, counterterrorism, whatever, and he's teaching at, I don't know, some school, some college somewhere. I'll let you know when I do the book review. But you know what? I flipped through this yesterday and I found just a couple pages and, a couple high points that's why I think this book is going to be so interesting. Apparently, when the FBI finds these terrorists, or people they think to be terrorists, instead of arresting them, getting them off the streets so, our country's safe from terrorists or from terrorism, so we don't have things like 9/11, the Boston Marathon attacks on Fort Hood. We don't have, terrorists out doing mortgage loans for people and gathering countless amounts of personal information like what happened in my situation. We don't have terrorists running around strip clubs, like running around cheetahs in Las Vegas, like what happened in my situation. But anyway, so apparently when the FBI finds these terrorists, instead of arresting them, they use them as informants. It says it in this book. I was like, oh, that's the problem. So they use them as informants. In other words, they just play games with them, Gravy train the criminals, gravy train the terrorists. That's all the damn FBI does, I'm going to keep telling you this over and over again. I mean, that's all the hell they do. I mean, I told you about my missing child support case down in Hidalgo County. Well, let me tell you, I actually reported that, to a deputy with the sheriff's office of Hidalgo County. I won't pronounce his name correctly because I can't roll my R's very good in Spanish, but Deputy Rudolph Salimas. It was reported to. Boy, let me tell you, when I came back and I reopened that child support case, he knew right away, holy crap, all hell was going to break loose. So, but even Deputy Salimas had said, oh, the FBI, they just, kind of play games with these people, or play games with these guys or something like that. So that comes from a deputy sheriff who witnesses, the same kind of crap that I do all the time. But, that's the FBI, and, they're your friends. They're definitely not my friends. So, but anyway, I'm so glad that this book was here so I can finish reading it, so I can finish hacking the FBI, over and over again. Here's another good book. Against All Enemies, Inside America's War on Terror. Now, this was a find. I actually found this at the Salvation Army where I am, so it only cost me $0.25. It was written by a guy, Richard A. Clark, and he used to work for the State Department, and he used to work for the White House and was working the day of 9/11. And he rips on the FBI, and he rips on the CIA and stuff like that. I am only up to page like 90, and I can't even tell you how many times he's already ripped on those two government agencies, the CIA and the FBI, and all their, they didn't even know about Al-Qaeda apparently until like 1993 or something like that. So anyway, but I'm just so glad my books are here. That they didn't actually steal those, but, according to the Patriot Act, they can watch what the heck you're reading. So yes, I am reading about all your damn jacked up, fuck ups that you guys do. So anyway, as if I didn't really already know that. But other than that, let's see, I came home and then, Facebook seems to be hacked, still seems to be hacked. I'm having this ongoing problem with Facebook. Well, I posted this whole case, including this Homeland Security letter, all over Facebook. I even made a Facebook page for the terrorists that, the FBI has been playing games with for the last, 10 years. And so the Facebook page is called America's Most Wanted Terrorist. Now, if you go to that page, you will see in the backdrop a letter from the U.S. Attorney in Houston to me. He actually emailed that to me when I was in Salt Lake. One of his office staff did it, at the very least. So, and then it says, call the FBI and list the FBI number in Houston. I can't tell you, oh my God. You know, when I first called the FBI down there in Houston, I'll never forget this agent. She was just like, you know, I'm telling her about this case, and she's like, it sounds complicated. And I'm sitting there thinking, girl, it's not complicated, man. Follow the yellow brick road. He read the habeas petition. He came in through Brownsville. He got convicted in Houston or Harris County, and follow the yellow brick road, girl. You know, I mean, oh, it's complicated. I mean, can you imagine calling an FBI office and an agent telling you that, you know, a terrorism case sounds complicated, and then she was like, oh, I just take the information, I just pass it on, but whatever, okay? So years later, of course, the Houston FBI hasn't done anything about this either. Not that it's surprising to me, but what's interesting about it is that it was emailed to me, not mailed, emailed to me, and from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Houston, emailed to me with my Phoenix, Arizona address on it. Well, that's because, you know, like the U.S. Attorney was so corrupt there that, you know, when I was there in Arizona, it was actually the same U.S. Attorney that was intentionally being negligent in the Fast and Furious scandal. So when my shit was all going down there in Arizona, you know, we had that corrupt U.S. Attorney that was, you know, covering up for Eric Holder up there in the DOJ. But, you know, what's new? But I'll never forget, so when I was in Arizona, I called the US Marshal's office in Washington, D.C., and they told me, guess what they told me? They said the FBI can arrest their own agents. And I'm like, really? Wow, are you serious? The FBI can arrest their own agents. And, you know, I was just so shocked on that because, God, it seems like, you know, considering how many FBI agents in the Las Vegas FBI knew about this case, you know, over the years, it seems like, you know, one of them could have arrested, you know, one of the first ones that were causing all these problems, especially this damn, you know, they should have arrested this Chris Byers at the very least. He's such an asshole. Apparently he's the jerk that's in control of this case that keeps fucking, you know, up things for everybody, keeps fucking up my life and everything else. FBI agent Chris Byers there in Las Vegas. But so, and then I went to the U.S. Marshal's office in Phoenix, and I had to ask one of my deputy marshals. I'm like, Ron. So now Deputy Ron, boy, he is a giant. He is a gigantic deputy marshal. Oh my God, he's huge. Like, he could like totally crush these guys, you know? And so I'm like, so now Deputy Ron, so is it true that the FBI can arrest their own agents? And he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, really? And I'm still thinking, gosh, you know, I wish you'd just arrest him for me, you know, because you're just this big, gigantic deputy marshal. But anyway, yes, the FBI can apparently arrest their own agents. I did confirm that with Rio Rancho, New Mexico Police Department. I confirmed that with the Bethel, Alaska Police Department. I've asked tons of people, so the FBI can arrest their own agents. Everybody says yes, and of course they're never going to do it because they're so damn hot-headed. And you know, Houston FBI, you're not doing a bang-up job on getting the jackass terrorists thrown back in prison. And like I said, I found the evidence is because once you guys find that there's a terrorist, you just like play games with them. So, but anyway, you know, and now they have hacked Facebook. So they're pissed because I got this all over Facebook. So if you go to my page, Susan Knisely, you'll see some stuff. You have to look through all the photos. If you go to America's Most Wanted Terrorist page, you will actually see a photo of the terrorist that's supposed to be in prison, the one that keeps getting help from, you know, countless amounts of law enforcement, countless amounts of attorneys, countless amounts of, you know, prosecutors or whatever, just like letting him walk, judges that let him walk, you know, and so forth. I'm like the only one that doesn't let him walk, and I guess Peter Lazaro and then a immigration judge in Las Vegas. We were the only three that, you know, that want this guy down. But anyway, America's Most Wanted Terrorist. So they're pissed because I got all this stuff on Facebook. Well, hey, you know what? It's like dangerous criminals, man. I mean, I got to think of it as a like John Walsh, America's Most Wanted campaign. Okay, so it's just kind of like, you know, I'm John Walsh. Okay, so if we're all looking, there's nowhere he can hide. Okay, so everybody, I need you to go to America's Most Wanted Terrorist Facebook page, like the Facebook page, check out the links, check out all the case information as to why you know, all the reasons that he should be back in prison, and then you can, you know, question the FBI as to why they're not doing anything about it. And if you're brave enough, you could actually call the Houston FBI, because, you know, the U.S. Attorney was so nice to put their phone number on there. You could call the Houston FBI and ask them what the hell they're doing about it, like getting the terrorists back in prison, arresting their own agents, and so forth. But, you know, like I said, it's never going to happen. The only thing they keep doing is coming after me. And so they keep hacking Facebook, hacking my Facebook pages and stuff like that. Like, let me give you a good example. So I do a lot of advertising on Facebook on other things. Like, I sell Pure Romance, I sell Avon, and I sell Damsel in Defense, and I have the iSues Fashion Galaxy Mall. Okay, so when I'm doing these promo ads and I'm paying for these promo ads, you know, if I type in the country of Mexico, the money that I'm spending seems to go a lot further, based on the statistics of what Facebook says. You know, you advertise to this population, this is, you know, this is what you're going to get out of it. Now, when I put in the United States, it like decreases by 75%. See, and that's because the FBI does not want all of you to know what the heck's going on, so they hack my Facebook pages so they can prevent this information from getting out into the public. I mean, I'm telling you, you know, this is like so real and so out there. I've got so many law enforcement around the country that know this case, so many members of Congress that know this case. I cannot believe this fool's out running the streets. And like I said, the only person that they have, you know, to come after is me. That's because everybody else, all the other witnesses, are either dead or they're missing. How sad is that? And then they're preventing it from getting out. So I mean, I feel like I'm one of these conspiracy theorists like David Icke or somebody like that. But the trouble is, it's like, I mean, it's a conspiracy, but it's like an all true conspiracy. This is a real letter, and I got real people that know this case. But anyway, check out America's Most Wanted Terrorist on Facebook. Check out that page, check out my other pages, and I will see you next time on Keep the Bad Guys Away, and I hope to have my books in the future to share with you. So anyway, be safe. See you next time.